What's up, everybody? So I wanted to actually just take a moment to give a quick Boombotz review about the Batman, the brand new movie that just came out, starring Robert Pattinson, directed by Matt Reeves. It has a slew of A-list characters in the movie, from Zoe Kravitz to Colin Farrell to Jonathan Wright. The movie is absolutely fucking phenomenal. I want to let you know ahead of time there will be spoilers coming up, so if you have not seen the movie already, please think about hitting the pause button and then going back and coming back later on to watch it then. As well, too, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below so you can be notified whenever we post a new video. But besides that, let's just get right into it. So, Batman. This is a year two story of the Batman. A lot of people have different mixed reviews about it, and I know that my reviews probably will not be in line with a lot of other people's reviews, and that's fine. That's okay. That's the whole point behind this. So the way I want to do this review is I'm going to give you a little bit of each character that I want to touch on, and then at the end of it, I'll give you my overall review of the movie itself. There will be down in the comment section below a section for you to be able to jump from section to section. So, for starters, let me talk about the Riddler. The Riddler in this movie is something that we have never seen before. He is different than any other Riddler we've known in the comics. And the reason for this is that Matt Reeves had said himself that he kind of took inspiration from the Zodiac Killer. You can see parts of the Zodiac Killer inspiration in it from the cards that he gives out to the commissioner, the cards that he gives to people. It's similar to the cards the Zodiac Killer had given to the newspaper reporter. Besides that, the cipher that the Riddler does is very similar to the Zodiac Killer cipher as well too. So the Riddler as a villain, though, the Batman villain, has always been the type of villain that's not very in your face. He's not one to pull punches, to fight with Batman. The Riddler has always been the psychological one. He always has that that need to prove to people, that need to prove that he's smart, to get like recognition and things. That's why most of his riddles usually have the solution right there. Like, so it's usually like that. He even says it in the movie too. Like, he's like, "I give you all the answers. You didn't get it yet. I gave you all the answers." So that's the Riddler, and they kept very core to that, very true to that part of the Riddler, which is amazing to me, in my opinion. He's not, like I said, he's not the Jim Carrey. He's not the one with the green suit on. He's not. That's not what we got from this, and I'm okay with that personally. Next up, we have Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell, holy crap! Can I just say the makeup, the acting, everything about it? You would never have even known this was Colin Farrell if you did not know, because he's come a long way since the 2003 movie Daredevil. That's a movie we try not to talk about. Colin Farrell did a phenomenal job as Penguin, from the limp, from the acting, from the makeup to make him look like he had a beak, to just overall everything about him. Just screamed Penguin to me. It screamed Oswald Cobblepot. He didn't seem like, I don't know. He seemed very much like Oswald Cobblepot, where he's got that power to him, but yet he's still kind of like a lanky to Falcone in a way. Like he's kind of like he's not that powerful as of yet. So from what we know of. Next up, I want to talk about Detective Gordon, otherwise known as Commissioner Gordon, depending on what time of the timeline we're talking about here, though. And he was played by Jeffrey Wright. Amazing actor, an amazing job he did as well too. There is really no bad casting that I can think of as far as this movie goes. I really cannot think of any bad casting on this movie. So what I want to say though is that you really get a love for Detective Gordon. You get an idea of the love that the two of them have for each other and the respect that he gives to Batman. For some reason, we don't really know why, because again, this is year two. So they already have an accomplishment. They already have like an established rapport with each other already at this point of 2 years or so. The crazy part is too is we're going to be having the spinoff coming from HBO Max for Detective Gordon, and we're going to be having the spinoff from Cobblepot as well too. Cobblepot's going to be, and both of them are going to be going into their backstory to try to find out, like, their coming of age story into the criminal underworld and for GCPD and stuff. So it's really going to be interesting to see where they go with this. Next up on the list, though, would have to be Catwoman. Catwoman, Selena Kyle, Zoe Kravitz. She did an amazing job. She looked the part. She took a lot of inspiration from Year One Batman, from Earth One Batman. So one of the things that I found really interesting was the way that they used the arc, though. One of the arcs that have been touched on in other comics and other kind of like other Catwoman stories has been the idea that Selena Kyle's dad was Falcone. They always hinted towards it, but they never actually established it. This movie actually established that, being the fact that that is who it is. That is her father. So it was really, really cool to see that they went that way with it. And what storylines they picked and choose from. So this was a mix mash, or like a matchup of all the different kinds of Catwomen together, and then also taking inspiration from the comics. So it's not the one that we would see if we saw Batman the Animated Series or any of that at all. This is something that comic book fans would know, something that people that know the comics and read the comics, they would actually understand where these come from. These are a lot of the characters that they use in this. They took inspiration from comics that are not people that would not actually normally recognize these characters' backstories and their arcs unless they read the comics. Can't speak of Catwoman without talking about Batman, Robert Pattinson, Mr. Twilight himself. He did such a phenomenal job as Batman. I will say, first off, right now, this is probably my favorite rendition of Batman. This is my favorite version of him. He did an amazing job. I was kind of skeptical at first though, but I had very high hopes for him. He did amazing. He from beginning to end, you saw the pain in his eyes, you saw the tiredness, like the overall when he had that mask on and you saw it in his eyes, like you saw who he was. You saw the vengeance, you saw the Batman. You didn't see Bruce Wayne. You didn't see Playboy philanthropist billionaire. You saw Batman. You saw the child that lost his parents. You saw that's who you saw, and that's what was the most amazing part about it too. When you did see him play the part of Bruce Wayne, you realized he was playing a part, like he wasn't being genuine, and that rang out so much to me in this movie. There was just so much that Batman himself in this movie as well too. The fact that he doesn't have a lot of his crazy tech. He doesn't have a lot of his crazy tools. So he looks like a regular guy that has like ballistic wear and everything else to him. And he got shot in the chest with a shotgun, point blank. You know that definitely broke his ribs. He got put down. And normally, when you see Batman nowadays, and you know all the movies like Christopher Nolan movies and stuff, he gets shot, he goes down. The criminal turns around, looks back, he's gone, and then he beats the shit out of the guy. This one didn't happen that way. Like he was down, he was down. He they took inspiration from the comics where the Batman Year One, where he starts tripping over his own cape, where he doesn't really know like how to handle himself. He can't pull his punches. He doesn't know how to hold back. He's just straight raw power behind what he's doing. So when he gets shot, he's down and he's hurt. He had to use adrenaline to be able to get himself back up again to keep fighting. Speaking of fighting, the fighting in this movie was also by far the best fighting in any Batman movie I have seen thus far. So far, I have not noticed a Batman movie that could do the action that they did. It wasn't over the top, but it was just enough to be like, oh, yes, this is what I wanted. It wasn't like an action flick from beginning to end. This was a detective story. This was a true Batman noir, what we've grown to know, the behind the scenes coming of age Batman. This is what comic book fans have wanted and love about it. For a regular average fan, I don't know if everybody's going to be feel the same way about it because some people might get bored of it or think that it's a little bit slower, and I respect it and I can understand that too. But I feel that a lot of people that have been really vested into Batman for a long time might come out of this and really love the movie for what it is. I personally want to give this movie a 9 to a 10 out of 10. Like, this is probably by far my favorite movie, my favorite Batman movie so far. I am so excited to see where they go with it over the next two films. What other spin-offs they come out of this though. This is going to be a whole new DC universe with Robert Pattinson as Batman. And honestly, I am so freaking stoked for it. It's amazing. I am excited. But guys, that is my take on it though. I would love to know your ideas, your takes on it as well too. I would love to know what you think. Do you think Robert Pattinson is a good Batman? Do you prefer a different Batman? Was Michael Keaton your favorite? Christian Bale? You tell me in the comment section down below. Let me know who your favorite was. I would love to hear from you. And as well too, guys, if you guys ever want to check me out, I am live on Twitch. You can ask me any questions you want any other point in time there too. Twitch.tv/Johnny Boombotz. The link will be down in the comments. Till next time, guys. Bye.